What's up, my people? How you been? How you been? What we got here? I'm gonna make someone's life a lot easier that are buying these AGT or Top Cat shears, because let me tell you, the electrical and the solenoids, junk. What I just did here, I was scratching my brain forever. Well, all last night, let's just put it that way. So you can see all the lines were in there. You had your feed lines here, then the lines come out down below. So there was 4 lines connected, so I needed to get 2 T's, which I put those, one there, and then it feeds off of that. So let's get in the machine, throw your hydraulics on, and it's just this rocker right here. So that rocker closes that against the tree first, and then all of a sudden that starts to close right there. And then when you go to open up, because that's the weakest valve, once you open up here, that opens up first, so let go of the tree, then that opens up. The same exact way if you were to do it on here, but now you just have one button, way easier, less things to fail. I mean, this thing is this is really cheesy, but when I hooked it up into here, started throwing hydraulic fluid out here, probably because it was closed and I was pressing this button, but still I feel it shouldn't leak, and just the wire and harness was really horrible. And then for me to, I supposedly you just use this back one and this front one, and then that would make it work into a different switch. But why would you even do that? There's other manufacturers like M&M shears, they run it, it's integrated, it runs the same way this does. That's how I figured I could do it, and it works. Well, we didn't test it yet. Let's go test it, but right now it's working on the bench. So obviously on this channel I never talk finance or what I pay or anything, but this time I'm gonna. Obviously in the title you see that I had that, so I'll let you know in a little bit in this video what I paid for this and was it worth it. But let's just test it on a tree and see if it even cuts. It's supposed to cut 15-16 inch trees. We'll see about that. Sheared that off, no problem at all. When you assemble this, you got to put all your T's and loosen everything to get those, so when you rotate that down at a 90 like I did that tree, you don't pinch them, get them out of the way. But you have to find a spot when you're up in the trees to get it to land, you know. That was my tricky part. Let's get over here. These 2 trees been really annoying me. So I got some exciting stuff coming up on the channel. Not gonna tell you right now, but you got to stay tuned. You got to subscribe to see it. That's why I'm buying some forestry stuff, let's just put it that way. All right, all zip tied up where I want it. Got my old pool or vacuum, whatever. This is a pool suction vacuum. I got a whole roll of that for this type of stuff. You just put a slit in it and then zip tied. That works out good. Zip tie this. I gotta cut that off, but everything's good. This can't chafe. I don't understand why Top Cat overthought this and made this the way they did. I mean, they could have lowered the cost of this whole machine or this whole attachment by $1,000 by not having this electric to it, and it works the same, if not better. You're not going to have any twigs or branches come through when you're cutting a tree and ripping those top solenoids off. I mean, like I said, you couldn't even get these on with this plate. You had to take this off anyways just to wire it, and you know that's going to get ripped off. One last thing to get ripped by a tree branch is one last thing. I mean, this thing's heavy duty. It's heavy. It's worth something. Could use it on something at another time, but not that attachment, that's for sure. Pretty impressive. That stump there, that's been bothering me for a while. The tree fell down and then the stump was sticking up. The backhoe wouldn't push it over or snap it. And I didn't want to dig it out because I didn't want to wreck the lawn. Oh yeah, here's some birch trees that really annoy me when I'm brush hogging. Let's get these down right here. They hang out in the field. See, when they're hanging over like this, they're going to be hanging over the cab. I should be able to straighten them out, push them up, and well, let's find out. I don't know. This scenario here, when you're going into the brush, just to move it would blow those solenoid wires right off if you didn't have them 100% protected. And even at that, you know, you just don't, you can't look at everything when you're in the cab, you know. You're always looking for your hydraulic lines, but then you got electrical and all that. 2 buttons to work with. All right, so that worked. It got the brush out from from where I got a brush hog anyways, got that tree. Let's see what else we can find. Alright, here's another little pine tree that annoys me when I brush hog. It's out in the field that shouldn't be here. Just get down low on it. Nothing to it. Pick it up. Tip her forward. I'm just learning how to use this thing too. Obviously I'll get better at it. Tip it forward. Throw it out into the hedgerow. Nice. That was right here. And you can clean the stump up. You can get this, angle this down just so we don't hit it with four-wheelers and brush hogs. Angle that down. Grab another chunk out of it. Like so. Okay. Put it right in the dirt. So now you're below grade. There's the piece right here. There it is. Here's another nonsense tree for brush hogging. That one took the whole root and everything, the whole root ball. Hold it right out. We'll call that a very moderate test and tune. We didn't want to get into some real big hardwood stuff. Like I said, I don't want to break or bend anything. I know they got some weak spots. I've seen other people snap the ears here and we have to reinforce them, but so far, you know, it is what it is. We do have this snapped off and that grease fitting snapped off, which hit here and here. And that was when it was all the way back and those arms. So let's just test that, I'll show you. So if we're all the way back on the arms, you can see that with them open, they don't hit at all. That's all the way back. So when I got into that birch tree, I was back like this, but then I started clamping. And when, let's just go like this, when you clamp, she comes forward. So you can see how it wants it. It does clear that one, but I guess what happened there is when I was pushing on it with the tree, maybe this whole thing flexed and hit there. I don't know. But it won't hit now. It must have been with the, I don't know. It's hard to say how that happened, but probably I was pushing on it because I was pushing on this like a mast, you know, against the tree. Because that tree was like this, and I was trying to push it up to get them teeth under it, which you're not going to use this thing for that. I shouldn't have even done that, but I wanted to clip that off because that could have done some damage. But basically, it's meant for straight up and down use, a slight angle, and that wouldn't have happened, but at least we didn't tear nothing up too much. Lessons learned. Really, these grease fittings should be on the other side, then there'd be no issues at all if it was right here. I mean, overall, I think it's a pretty heavy duty built. I do know they make two different thicknesses of steel. I would say this one's pretty thick. I heard people complaining that this was really thin on other ones, but them rams are really big. I mean, it has no issue going through the trees or power like that, and it grabs it. like I said, that that solenoid is for the birds, man. I tell you, what a difference. Just one toggle, less things you have to think about, because you're always focusing on, you know, the work itself. I'm excited to see how this is really going to perform in the woods. We'll find out, though. So I guess the question is, am I happy with it? I don't know. You know, not enough time, obviously, on it. So I guess the future videos will answer that. So you'll have to subscribe to the channel. Hopefully you do. And we got a lot of cool content coming up. Find the right one here first. Get this in. Nice and nice. All right, everything's greased up. Just going over all the bolts, make sure everything's tight. There is a gap right here. I'm putting some washers in there. I'll show you on this side. You can see that gap right there. And if you tighten this bolt down, it draws that in and puts a lot of pressure on the weld. So I'm going to put one in each side, and that will tighten that up. Everything else is all tight. I noticed that right off the bat when I was in the machine. I got that in there. Just got to get it to the so the bolt can go through. Because it is tight. There she is. And now we'll tighten that up. You're in the way. Hang on. Get that tight. There we go. Now you draw it and that stays straight. Because if you start bending that, putting pressure on the weld, and this thing tweaks, next thing you know, you got a broken weld. See, there was some pressure on that one already. You see, now that's nice and true. That's the way it should be. I should have never left that like that, because that would have definitely flexed and broke something. But and then if I drew it in, it would have broke something for sure. But everything's greased, ready to go. Super excited on this shear here. All right, so how much did I pay for it, and where did I get it? It was bought at an auction, cheapest. I've seen them. I've seen these. Well, you could buy them from Top Cat for like $5,500 plus shipping. And then I see them on Marketplace, $4 grand, $3,800. You know, a lot of them are $5 grand. But this was auction, $2,500. And you know, everything, it was brand new. Everything came with it, the harness and all that. So I was like, oh, I'm good to go, plug and play. But when I got it back, I'm like, my machine don't even have electric coming out the end. That should be a 14 pin. That wire harness is like $880. Then you got to do all the work to get it in, and then you're still not there. You got to get the female, which was like another $135. So I'm in over $1 grand plus my time to get this. And I was just gonna sell it. I was like, you know what, screw it, I'm just gonna put this on there for $4,000 or $3,500, make $1 grand off it, because I'm done with it. But after last night thinking this and that, and I said, you know what, there's no reason why I can't just hook all the hydraulic lines up. The smallest cylinder is going to go first, which that's what you would activate anyways with the solenoids. And then it's going to pressurize the bottom. And when you go in reverse with the toggle, it's going to open the smallest cylinder first. So I said it's a no-brainer. Now you're working with one hand, the way you should be, like on a Harley rake, and then you're using your controls and your vision for everything else. Nobody wants to keep going to 3 different buttons and 2 different hands, and too much focus and too much going on. I mean, if you're used to it, yeah. So I'm super stoked the way I made this work. I mean, obviously, anybody that is going through this, like I said, just get yourself some tees right there. It was only 2 tees, $10 a piece, I think they were. Slap them together, put all them lines together. Only thing you got to do is make sure all the lines are flowing the right direction. And the easiest way I did that was I just made sure I called it chrome side and then back side. Just hook all your back sides up and then all your chrome sides up, which is, you know, one's feeding it and one's pulling it. That's how it works. If you get those backwards, it's going to fight each other. It's going to bind up. It's not going to work. So that's the only really tricky part on putting those tees in. Just make sure you could even just use zip ties if you wanted and color code them or whatnot. But It's pretty simple if you just use chrome side and back side. Well guys, I'm going to end this video. Hopefully you'll see this in upcoming videos, and you will if you're subscribed. Please like the channel, give this video a big thumbs up if you like the video, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.